Galactapedia update February 2023. The Arc Kayak system. Welcome to this month's Galactapedia update roundup. This month we visit the Taranis system and the company that broke it, meet 4 exotic animals, learn about 2 popular Banu gods, and examine Quantanium, among other subjects. S-Pop took the UEE by storm in 2932. S-Pop, abbreviation of Saisei Pop, is a form of human popular music originating on Saisei, Centauri III. Common characteristics of S-Pop include the incorporation of relaxing, organic-sourced sounds and traditional Saisei instruments. The term can refer either specifically to the popular music of Saisei or to any music functionally derived therefrom. Origin. The earliest iteration of traditional Saisei music evolved in the 25th century, when Saisei was first established and built up as a colony world. The form owes a significant amount to the slow, methodical process involved in planning and constructing Saisei colony. While typical colonies grow in fits as interest in particular exports drive commerce and immigration, Saisei was instead built up deliberately according to a long-term plan. Lacking the booms and busts of traditional early colonial development that leave newly settled worlds more closely tied to a home culture, Saisei developed its own disparate takes on a variety of human art forms. During the initial settlement period, luxury imports from Earth, Sol 3, were extremely limited. As a result, traditional human instruments were uncommon beyond those carried as part of the first wave's personal preference kits. Colonists turned to local materials to develop their own offshoots. Trees seeded during the early terraforming process produced softer wood than is traditionally used to create stringed instruments. This limitation ultimately gave rise to the Saisei-made softwood guitar, or S-guitar, which produces a mellower, more resonant sound than its Earth-made equivalent. Saisei musicians soon began experimenting with natural sounds. By the middle of the 27th century, a typical Saisei arrangement might include several dozen different natural samples, often arrayed so elaborately that their source could not be externally determined. Widespread popularity. For roughly 400 years, Saisei traditional music was not widespread beyond the Centauri system. That changed in 2932 when Saisei-based band The Claw appeared on Terra, Show Me the Music, a popular Spectrum-based showcase for aspiring bands. Instead of performing an original song, The Claw chose to perform a Saisei-styled interpretation of Clover's Moonlight, then at the height of its popularity. The group used a traditional S-guitar and an array of cultivated aquatic insect sounds to give the song what the series host termed eerie, still movement. The performance was accompanied by a holographic light show based in traditional Saisei culture. In under 2 weeks, The Claw had the #1 single on popular music charts of both Earth and Terra 3. Viewers initially curious about the light show and the unusual sounds became interested in the music itself. The Terra Gazette dubbed this style of music S-Pop. A brief S-Pop craze followed The Claw's larger UEE debut, with music producers rushing to sign hitherto unknown acts from Saisei and other performers around the galaxy, eager to emulate what they considered an exciting new discovery. S-pop ruled spectrum from November 29, 32 to December 29, 34, with dozens of songs taking top positions. Although interest in S-pop has waxed and waned in the ensuing years, the impact of the fad has had permanence. Taranis system, a less than friendly locale. Taranis system, discovered in 2478. Jump point connections to Alice, Helios, Genesis, and Terra. Number of planets, 4. Locations, Taranis I, Taranis Belt Alpha and Beta, Taranis II, 2A, Taranis III, and Taranis IV. Taranis system is an unclaimed planetary system that consists of an A-type main sequence star, a mesoplanet, 2 terrestrial planets, a gas giant, and 2 asteroid belts. Discovered in 2478 by the United Nations of Earth, UNE, survey ship Mythic Horizon. The initial scouting report classified its planets as high-risk candidates for terraforming, and the system was left largely untouched. During the Messer era, 2546 to 2792, Taranis was sometimes used as a testbed for new technology, which led to a 2566 accident that destroyed the moon of Taranis II. In addition to the dangerous debris field created by this incident, the system's 2 dense asteroid belts pose a persistent navigational hazard for travelers. Taranis I has a human face, some claim. Taranis I is depicted in the Arc star map. Type, planet. Parent body, Taranis. Location, Taranis system. Not habitable, uninhabitable planets. Affiliation, none. Discovered in 2478. Taranis I is a mesoplanet in the unclaimed Taranis system. The closest planet to its sun, temperatures on Taranis I are sometimes high enough to warp hulls. In 2559, the planet came to fame when a new review of survey data captured in the wake of the system's discovery revealed what appeared to be a human face carved into its northern surface. Nicknamed the Face of Taranis, this anomaly created a brief cultural craze that eventually led to a privately funded investigatory expedition. Reports confirmed that the so-called face was actually a mountain range that had been photographed in an unusual position. Public interest dissipated shortly after. Taranis Belt Alpha, dense and dangerous. Taranis Belt Alpha, type asteroid belt. Parent body, Taranis. Location, Taranis system. Discovered in 2478. The Taranis Belt Alpha is the first of the unclaimed Taranis system's asteroid belts. Densely packed with asteroids, frequent collisions occur that eject dust, rocks, and other material into the already crowded area. As a consequence, travel there can be treacherous, and there has been little large-scale commercial activity. Some smaller operations have attempted to turn a profit via mining and other means, but the belt has otherwise been left largely untouched. Taranis Belt Beta, denser and more dangerous. The Taranis Belt Beta is a second asteroid belt in the unclaimed Taranis system. Like its sibling belt, it is dense with asteroids and dangerous to traverse. Nevertheless, some individuals use it as a place to hide from pursuers. Smugglers, pirates, and other outlaws have been known to operate there, making civilian travel in the belt a risky prospect at best. Taranis II, ravaged by meteors. Taranis II is the second planet from the sun of the unclaimed Taranis system. Although Taranis II was classified as a poor choice for terraforming after its discovery, geo-developer Ophion Inc. attempted to terraform the planet in 2566 using an experimental process. The company's history of utilizing underpaid and underqualified labor, along with substandard parts to cut costs, led to numerous accidents, the worst of which scarred the planet's landscape and cracked its moon in half. Matter from the resulting debris field has been striking Taranis II ever since. Much of the terraforming machinery Ophion abandoned has fallen to the planet's surface, where it continues to burn. Taranis II-A, a broken moon. Taranis II-A is the moon of Taranis II, the second planet from the sun of the unclaimed Taranis system. During the Messer era, 2546 to 2792, the geo-development company Ophion Inc. used Taranis II-A and its parent planet as test beds for various new terraforming technologies, including a dubiously designed platform that was meant to utilize the moon's orbital energy as a power source. A combination of errors in math from the overworked and underpaid engineers, mistakes in construction from the exhausted workers, overall poor design, and the use of shoddy parts led to a catastrophic energy discharge from the largest platform that ruptured the mantle of Taranis II-A, eventually causing the moon to break apart. The broken moon of Taranis map featured in the popular spaceflight simulator Arena Commander was inspired by Taranis II-A. Taranis III, often stormy but still home to some. Taranis III is the third planet from the sun of the unclaimed Taranis system. A smog planet, it has a thick and high-pressure atmosphere that gives rise to frequent storms. Although the air isn't breathable, it is home to a sizable settlement of humans and Taernin, situated in an abandoned research station called Phare. Established in 2536, it was originally created as a base of operations for a privately funded research team interested in weather control techniques. Expats from the United Empire of Earth, UEE, claimed the abandoned station in 2551 and have since expanded it. Taranis IV, ringed by asteroids. Taranis IV is the fourth planet from the sun of the unclaimed Taranis system. Its hydrogen and helium atmosphere is pale yellow, banded with cream and tan. As the system's main stop for harvesting fuel, it sees occasional traffic from independent travelers. However, its thick ring of captured asteroids discourages stops from larger commercial ships. Ophion Inc., a cautionary tale of cost-cutting. Ophion Inc. was a geo-development and terraforming company that operated from 2501 to 2567. Founded by Euronome Rhodes, it was initially known for its conscientious business practices and high rates of pay. However, after the founder's son, Xi'an Guerra Rhodes, inherited the company in 2560, he began to implement cost-saving measures that resulted in shoddy products and low levels of employee satisfaction. Guerra Rhodes utilized the resulting capital to purchase terraforming rights to Taranis II and its moon from the United Empire of Earth, UEE, government, where he planned to test the effectiveness of a new technology meant to utilize the orbital energy of Taranis II-A as a power source. Instead, the company caused a catastrophic accident that destroyed Taranis II-A, and the resulting financial and public fallout forced the company to close its doors in 2567. Cassa Aerospace, creators of the original Hurricane. Cassa Aerospace was a spacecraft manufacturer that operated from 2599 to 2623. Founded by noted ship designer and former Rocket Space Industries engineer Leonard Casse. It released its first ship in 2604, the limited-run Cosmos sloop. Due to the ongoing Second Taerin War from 2603 to 2610, the leisure craft sales were lower than projected, and Casse made the decision to pivot his designs from civilian to military. The 2607 Hurricane fighter saw success in the latter years of the war. After the conflict ended, the company accepted a contract from the United Empire of Earth (UEE) government to create a long-range patrol ship, but all work ceased when Casse passed away in 2615 after an in-air collision. The board sold the company to an investment firm in 2620 and closed its doors. In 2784, J. Harris Arnold of Anvil Aerospace purchased Casse Aerospace's portfolio in response to a copyright infringement lawsuit for allegedly stealing elements of Casse's designs. Today, Anvil utilizes Casse's signature elements of curved wings and an open circle signet in many of its ships. Leonard Casse, a visionary gone too soon. Leonard Casse, 2563 to 2615, was a notable spacecraft designer and engineer and founder of Casse Aerospace, known for his influence on J. Harris Arnold, Silas Kerner, Jules Parley, and other aerospace luminaries. In 2587, he was hired as a junior engineer at Robert Space Industries RSI and was assigned to the Starbright transport team, where he was promoted after identifying a potentially dangerous flaw in its design. By 2595, he had been named lead designer of the 2600 Starbright, which was praised for its entry system and internal flight controls upon its release. In 2599, he left RSI, citing dissatisfaction with the hierarchical structure, and founded his own company, Casse Aerospace, which operated on a flat organizational model in which everyone's opinions would have equal weight. He was only able to create two ships, the Cosmos Sloop and the Hurricane fighter, before perishing in a mid-air collision in 2615. His work rose to fame again in the 2780s when J. Harris Arnold of Anvil Aerospace began to feature Casse's signature fluoresces in his own designs. In 2902, he was inducted into the Edelson Design Institute Hall of Fame. Centurion, short-range tank. The Centurion is a short-range anti-aircraft ground vehicle manufactured by Anvil Aerospace. Like the Ballista and the Spartan, it is built on the Atlas platform. Intended to work in tandem with longer-range vehicles, the Centurion was designed as a mobile perimeter defense system able to operate in a variety of environments. It comes with a turret, with a gunner's seat, and a remote turret controlled by the driver, and features a thick armored hull. NovaRiders, long-range pirates. The NovaRiders were an outlaw group that entered notoriety in the early 2500s when they became the first known people to steal a spacecraft mid-flight. During this time, ships were sold at such a high cost that they were primarily owned by the wealthy and were commonly stolen at stations and ports. The gang was known for their practice of playing loud, thrash metal music on all communication frequencies in order to prevent their targets from calling for help. The group was disbanded by the military in 2517 but formed again a few years later, utilizing the same techniques. Since then, it has formed and dissolved again multiple times. Giant Yar Moth, main pollinator of the kavische. The giant Yar Moth is a flying arthropod indigenous to Yar, Centauri II. Typically, it has a wingspan of about 20 centimeters, making it one of the largest moths on Yar. It survives in the harsh red desert by drinking the nectar of desert flowers and juices from vegetation, and primarily flying in the early morning or evening. It is one of the most common pollinators of plants that grow in the Red Desert, particularly the kavische cactus. Phare's ape, possibly sentient. The Phare's ape is a human-like primate indigenous to Ethos, Osiris I. A nocturnal animal, the ape spends its days sleeping in caves or under self-created dwellings, and its nights foraging for fruit, seeds, leaves, and other plant-based foods. Biologists believe that it has the potential to develop higher thinking thanks to its use of tools and practice of constructing shelter. It is largely due to the presence of Phare's ape that Ethos is under the protection of the Fair Chance Act. Quantanium, key ingredient in quantum fuel. Quantanium is a deep red-orange mineral that occurs in igneous rock formations, a key ingredient in quantum fuel. Quantanium becomes unstable when it is extracted and is prone to breakage and degradation. Over time, it becomes more and more likely to combust, which sometimes results in explosions. Mining companies that extract quantanium must operate under strict safety regulations. Some independent miners have become injured or have died due to quantanium-related accidents. Ngii, the beast that inspires fear. The Ngii is a forest-dwelling apex predator, indigenous to Ngii, Rila 5. Speakers of the UEE standard sometimes refer to it as the Ngii. About 2 meters in length, it has occasionally been known to take down prey twice its size. Its long, curved claws help it grip branches, and membranes under its arms help it glide from tree to tree. An ambush predator, it typically waits among the leaves for unsuspecting prey to pass underneath it, then drops down and attacks. Although it is endangered on Ngii, there is a healthy population of Ngii on the preserved world of Koli, Elayuth 3. Ngii, the beast that makes Xi'an say "Aw." The Ngii, also called the Yao Yao after the sound it makes, is a semi-aquatic domestic animal indigenous to Xi'an Hyoton III. A popular pet in the Xi'an Empire, it has lived alongside the Xi'an since they developed farming, and is used for pest control and fishing along with companionship. Ngii typically have free roam of the homes they live in and sleep on perches meant to mimic low tree branches. Speakers of the UEE standard have been known to refer to the Ngii as the Yuengi cat. Cassa, the patron of luck, god of fortune. Cassa, the patron of luck, is the Banu god of fortune, prosperity, money, and merchants. Although its origins are unknown, it is one of the most common deities in the Banu pantheon for its governance over success in business. Religious Sulis that represent Cassa travel from Suli to Suli, collecting offerings and prayer commissions from Banu, seeking good fortune in trade. Because it is commonly seen on altars throughout the Banu Protectorate, xenoanthropologists speculate that it may be one of the oldest Banu gods still worshipped. Taernin, the Great Traveler, god of navigation. Taernin, the Great Traveler, is the Banu god of travelers, crossroads, and navigation, and is one of the most common deities in the Banu pantheon. Due to the Banu practice of not recording historical events, its origins are shrouded in mystery. When it is depicted, Taernin closely resembles a Banu, and is often portrayed standing in a boat and holding an oar. Sulis that depend upon travel for trade often commission prayers to Taernin from religious Sulis to keep them safe from unforeseen obstacles. Xenoanthropologists believe that Taernin worship may have originated on the Banu homeworld.